Hello, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Wealthy Wednesdays.
From the Ladies' Lounge.
From the Ladies' Lounge. It's funny, we always have those moments where we like give each other space to talk, and then there's those awkward silences for a moment. So, welcome, everyone.
There's never an awkward silence with you, Tiff.
No, not awkward, just silence. So we have something special this evening or today, depending on where you are in the world, and we will have a special guest joining us for a hot seat, which is a private, in brackets, not so private because it's being streamed on Facebook session, a quick private session, and it's going to be around the topic of money, something to do with money, wealth, that sort of thing. So we are very happy to have a very brave being who is choosing to join us. So she'll be joining us soon for the hot seat session. Is there anything else you would like to add or start with, Viv, before we bring Miss Sue Williams on?
There's always something I want to say.
Always something brilliant you have to say.
Just for those of you watching, watching this, partaking, whether it's live with us, with Sue, whether it's rewatching the replay, the question that she's asking for and the change that she's willing to have contributes to everybody that is willing to watch this. So, this is the cool thing about the hot seat, because there's a level of vulnerability required with ourselves to actually change something. Because if we keep avoiding it or pretending it's not there or defending it or covering it up, we never get to actually be present with the very thing that could set us free. So I'm eternally grateful for people that are willing to step up to the microphone, in classes, or put their hand up and ask a question, or especially jump in the hot seat, because it's like, whatever this is, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to change. I'm valuable enough to me. My life is valuable enough to me to be vulnerable. And it's not vulnerability from weakness, which is how this reality looks at vulnerability. Vulnerability's got a bad rap. It's got this, oh, you're weak or you're fragile. It's like, no, vulnerability is when you're willing to just drop any walls and barriers to actually you having the freedom to meet you in a way that you never have before, because the barrier or the point of view has been in place. So, Tiff and I are both eternally grateful for the people that are willing to jump in the hot seat. But no, if it's not your thing to go, put me on the camera and, show me around the world, know that by watching this, if you're willing to just be present with the conversation, you too can receive the change. So how does it get better than that?
How does it? So we would invite you to take just a moment and sort of get present with yourself and just get a sense if there are any barriers that you have, any places where, you feel like there's a bit of this, or, there's a distance between you and the future and the possibilities that you would like to have in your world and in the world that you're not allowing yourself to have, whether it's because of a point of view or a decision or an experience that you've had in the past that has some way created you stopping yourself from moving forward. Just take a moment and see if you can energetically sense any of those places in your universe, and just, even if you think you don't know how, just drop those barriers. Just melt them. And everything and anything that you can receive from this session that will contribute to your future and a different world that you would like to see, let's have that now as well, please.
Yeah, and it's like I said earlier, if you're willing to value the quality of your life, the choices that you make, how you live your day, how you be in your own skin, in your own life, if you value that, then would you be willing to do anything to have more of it? Would you be willing to have, because I know for me, it's like when you have something that's really pressing and clunky and funky and stuck and compacted, it's uncomfortable, it's intense, and sometimes you get to that point where you think, I'm never going to change this, or you just learn to live with it, which is like this. It's like you're walking around with one leg missing, but you don't even realize you're missing it until you get your leg back on, and it's like, oh my God. But that's the thing about being willing to be present with the energy. Acknowledging there's an energy there is what begins the change of a whole new realm of possibilities. Acknowledging there's an energy there that is not spacious and light. Let's face it, money is not a particularly spacious and light topic for a lot of people. It's loaded with points of view and judgment and wrongness and rightness, and there's a lot of stuff there. So to create some lightness and space, just acknowledge, what, I'm great with getting into debt, or I have no idea where my credit card is at, or I'm great at spending money, or wow, I'm really good because I've got lots of money hidden under the mattress. It's like the moment you acknowledge something, it can begin to change. But there is a level of being present with what is, without judgment, without being hard on yourself, without coming to conclusion, and just that acknowledgement of, there's an energy here that I'm not particularly enjoying. What would it take for this to change? That is what opens up that whole new universe of possibilities. It's that simple, but it requires that vulnerability and the kindness to you, because we're stretching ourselves into a greater reality. We're stretching ourselves beyond the comfort zone, which is what Tiff was just saying. And it is going to feel different. There's no reference point when we change. There's no familiarity or predictability. It's something that is totally different and unnavigated yet. So it may feel a bit different in your world, but how does it get better than this? What else is possible? And what would you truly like to have as your wealthy reality?
Great. So we are going to bring our hot seat guest on, and we will be using Viv and I and the Ladies Lounge are based on the tools of Access Consciousness. Viv and I are certified facilitators of Access Consciousness, and in this session we will be using the Access Consciousness clearing statement. So if you would like to know more about that, please go to theclearingstatement.com, where Dr. Dane here, the co-founder of Access Consciousness, explains it beautifully. Basically, it's a magic wand that is designed to bring up all of the energies of limitation that keep you from changing whatever's not working in your life. So let's bring Sue on. Here she is. Hello,
Hi,
Sue.
ladies.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My whole body, I can't even sit down. My whole body's shaking. So
Wonderful.
This is way out of my comfort zone here.
Yay. So have you got a new hairstyle?
Yeah. I cut it.
How does it get better than that? Thank you so much for jumping in, because it was kind of a bit last minute for you, wasn't it? And it's like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's the best way. It's the best way when you don't know it's coming, just to say yes. And I love that. So,
well, that's part of what I've been avoiding, is putting myself out there and into the world, because I'm so used to living in the background. It's kind of, yes, all right, let's push this comfort zone out.
Yay. Well, just in choosing that, you will have something different show up. So thank you for being brave and being here with us. It's it's a gift for us as well. So
absolutely.
Okay.
So what's the question? I haven't been able to read your response yet, but what was your question, sir?
Well, I've actually forgotten what I wrote down and asked when I but I do know it's about avoiding. So what am I actually avoiding so that I can create and generate more for me? Because I've been so used to, when I get my mojo back and create more for myself, because I've spent my whole life generating and creating for everybody else and making sure that everybody else was abundant and wealthy and everything else, and going without myself. And now that I'm by myself, I feel like I really don't have anybody or to create for. You know, I've created my own like my wealth is outside, you know, like the earth and everything else is so abundant to me, and I'm so grateful for everything else, but I don't seem to show that and honor myself. I just make enough, you know. Yeah. So how can I change that?
So firstly, everything and all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all utterly and thoroughly and return it to sender wherever it's come from?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad,
Definitely.
POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm sure a lot of people watching would relate to what you're talking about.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I've created a house, and I've created a car, and I've created a motorbike, and I've created so much that I'm so grateful for, but the financial wealth is not so good.
Okay. Cool. So with all of those things that you've created, truth, are they also money?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So have you ever truly fully acknowledged that before?
No.
Okay. So all of everywhere that you're separating, if everywhere that you're creating the separation between things and money and wealth, that is denying the brilliance of you and the brilliance of your ability to truly create as and for and with you and others, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please?
Yes.
Times the godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Thank you.
So how many decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, and judgments of you do you have that are keeping you from acknowledging the brilliance that you actually do have in this area that you're pretending not to have?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't equate to dollar signs.
Yeah.
Or numbers.
Yeah.
But the thing is if you don't acknowledge your creations, then that keeps you from creating and receiving more.
Okay.
So everything that is and everything that brought up, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah.
And so I know this one intimately because this is actually what got me into Access in the very first place. And I remember having a conversation with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, many, many years ago. And he was giving us clearings, you know, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to be? And he went around the room individually, and everyone was going, "Oh, what's mine? What's mine?" You know how he's great at being able to tap into people's worlds and just totally get where they're functioning from and give them a way out of, you know, processing themselves and giving them a tool to get themselves out of it. And he said to me, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to have a totally inclusive reality that includes me for all of eternity? And then right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because like you said, if there's a reason to create, if there's an external reason or a person or a situation that you can create for, do you find that you create really easily and it shows up for them or their life?
Yeah.
So with yeah,
that's what I've always done. Yeah, had someone else to create for, and left myself over here.
Yeah. And this is the thing about having an inclusive reality that includes me. And if money is the thing that you think is missing, then what contribution is money being to you for you to start including you in your reality a lot more? You know, money's just the catalyst. It's like, over here, hello, I'll help you. I'll facilitate you to open this door.
Yeah. And that is it. Thank you. Yeah. So I suppose it's about what's what wealth to me is the abundance of everything outside of me. And it's yeah, I've always made myself second place. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I?
Yeah, you
Sorry.
go, Tiff.
Well, I was just going to ask. So there's two questions. What's the value of excluding you?
I've always felt excluded.
Okay, cool. So truth, is that truly yours, or did you buy that off somebody as yours?
Yeah, it's somebody else's. Yes.
Cool. So
Yeah.
all the lies you've been telling yourself about this being your problem and the way that you feel, when actually you were just aware of somebody else's universe and you bought it as yours where it wasn't. Everything that is times a godzillion, where you revoke, reclaim, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all and return it all to sender with consciousness attached.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And then the other question I wanted to ask is, what would happen if you truly included you?
Oh.
Yeah, and what's that?
Is that pleasure, Sue? Is that pleasure and joy I hear coming out of your molecules?
Oh, it just might be. No, it wouldn't be that.
You know, Dane said just recently, and some of you may have heard this, what if the whole purpose of life is to have pleasure?
Yeah, what would that be?
What if you chose that your days were full of choosing what brings pleasure, what brings you joy, what's fun, what's light, and money follows joy.
Yeah. I do ask myself what would be fun for me to do today. I still have this thing in my head, and I know it doesn't belong to me. I know consciously that it doesn't belong to me. But it's about if I'm not creating and doing something in a financial way, then I'm a bludger or I'm not worth anything. So
Cool.
yeah, everything that is.
So a bludger, for those of you that don't speak Australian, what's a bludger? A bludger is somebody who just, take from the state and they're on the dole, or they just take, they don't contribute anything, they're lazy, all that kind of stuff. But Sue, could you ever be a bludger? Truth.
Well, I hope not.
So what do you know?
No, I couldn't be.
So all the judgments that you have around the word bludger and being a bludger and everything you've decided, judged, concluded and computed that equates to that, and everywhere you're defending for and avoiding that, we destroy and uncreate all of that, please.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because if we have a judgment about something, we will always have points of view that we're defending and always have points of view that we're avoiding. And that's what keeps us stuck in it.
Yep. Oh, that's a tough one to get past.
Well, is it actually real? Like Tiff said earlier, is this actually real? Or is it something that you've been dynamically aware of in other people's universes and you've just assumed? You've concluded, you've bought it lock, stock and smoking barrels, that it's you without even questioning, hang on, is this actually my reality? Is this true for me?
Yeah, I know it's not. Like, I really know it's not. But sometimes I get stuck in that whole, because I've always created so much for myself.
And that's what you. So, did you just hear what you said?
That I've always created for myself.
You said I've always created so much for myself.
Yeah, and yet I didn't acknowledge that.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure you heard what you said and ask you to fully acknowledge that. So everywhere that you're separating yourself from everything and everyone, will you just try and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And I have a question, if I may ask it as well, Sue.
Yeah.
So do you look more at what you don't have, and that's more valuable and real than what you actually do have?
Only in the area of money. Everything else I know I am abundant in.
So I wonder what could happen if you just changed that one point of view.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 Because if I actually start creating, I would actually be comfortable. Get out of my getting out of my comfort zone so that I am comfortable with having money.
And that's what I was talking about just before you jumped on, because we have to stretch into our financial reality, because you know what you're saying is, and I think a lot of people would recognize this, it's like, hang on, I'm actually living somebody else's financial reality. I've just taken jigsaw pieces of my mum's and my dad's and my sisters and my partners and mashed them all together, and I'm wondering why it's not working for me and I'm not happy. And we know something greater is possible. So if we take all the bits of the jigsaw that aren't yours, all those parts and pieces of your reality that you've lived and aren't working for you, and okay, what's my true reality with money? What's my true reality financially? You start to look at creating what's fun and easy and light, or whatever you desire to have, as your relationship with money and as your financial reality, rather than living bits and pieces of everybody else's world that you've glumped and thrown into the pot. Because half of you is acknowledging, yep, I am good at creating, and the other half of you is going, oh, but I'm not. You know, I've separated myself. So, you know, what energy, space, and consciousness can you be to have a totally inclusive reality that includes you? And you could even add financial reality or cash reality or money reality and play around with those words, change them around and see which one, you know, will create the more space and lightness for you. Because how do we find out what it is we truly desire?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, having an abundance of me. Wow. What would that be?
Yeah.
That's a great question. You know, they're great questions. Even the question that you came on here and asked is a great question to regularly ask in your day, you know, and go back and rewatch this and grab the processes that we've run and run them on yourself daily, because it is also about recognizing that, okay, to change this, what's required? To have something different here, what else is required? You know, and are you clear about what you would like to be different with your financial reality?
Yes, I am actually. I do know what I would like.
Okay. So the energy when you said yes, is there somewhere that you're hiding that from yourself or the world?
Hiding me.
Okay, cool.
Because what would happen if I got out there?
What would happen if you got out there? What have you decided would happen if you got out there that you do not want to happen, that you are totally unwilling to happen?
Be an embarrassment is what's coming up.
Okay, cool. So
Being
everything that is
embarrassment,
everything that is truth, are you willing to destroy and uncreate all that now, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How much of that point of view is based on being worried about other people's judgments of you?
Yeah.
So do you want to go through your life stopping yourself based on being worried about what other people will judge you as or for, or would you rather choose and create what it is that you would like to create, no matter what anybody else thinks about you or says about you?
Yes, please.
And that's the place where it's a choice. That's the place where you know, when you go to do something that you know is going to contribute more to what it is that you would like to create, and you feel yourself stopping yourself because of these things, you have to stop and go, no. Okay, everything that is, destroy and uncreate it. Now, what can I choose? And that's the willingness to be present in every, you know, we talk about 10-second increments in Access as a tool of, okay, 10 seconds. What am I choosing in the next 10 seconds? And that's the place where it's about you choosing for you and knowing that you're going to choose this and create this no matter what it takes, no matter what it looks like.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been, you know, like I've been a millionaire and had all of all of that, and I will create when I have somebody else to create for. But just for me,
you can create for me.
I'll have it. You can create for me.
Anybody create. Anybody can ask me, and I will contribute to anybody. But when it comes to me, I still have that fear of being more than, I'm not sure.
You still
what
have
that
fear?
Yeah.
Right now? Still?
Oh, well, no, not really.
Time out.
A
Viv's
little.
got something.
Come on, Viv. Hit me with it.
What else is truly possible? You know, and the good old story of, well, would an infinite being truly have fear?
No.
So, and this is the cool thing. I'm so grateful for this conversation, Sue, because it's like, you know, what comes out of our mouth is what's actually behind the scenes, like the projector at the cinemas. It's what we are not often aware of that is constantly projecting into our reality and creating what's right in front of us. So you're great because you're acknowledging, okay, I'm great at this and I've done this and I've done that and I've been a millionaire. It's like, okay, great. If you were to choose to put more acknowledgement into what you have created and go, great, more of this, what else is possible? That was fun. How do I outcreate myself? What's my next target? You know, that starts to open up that enthusiasm and that desire to contribute and create something greater. You're kind of competing with yourself, because really at the end of the day, the only person we can truly compete with is us. How do I outcreate all of this? How do I outcreate being a millionaire?
Yeah.
You know? What else is possible?
And I give it all away or create something to diminish myself again.
So are you aware of the 10% tool?
Yes, I use it.
Okay, great. Cool.
Yes.
And when you do that, do you truly do it as an honoring of you?
Yes.
Cool. Great.
Yes.
So that's awesome. That's a good start. Look, you know, I think really like Viv said, it's this thing of, you've got all the elements, you've got all the pieces. What are you going to choose now? You know, are you going to choose to continue to buy your own lies?
No.
That's the time out. So it's like, time out with yourself. It's like, I'm buying lies again. I'm telling myself crap. Time out, Sue.
Yeah. And like constantly, who's this belong to going on in my head?
Well, another question. Sorry, Tiff, you go.
Just everything all that is, can we destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And what else is possible? Truly, what else is possible? Thank you so much, Sue.
Thank you.
Grateful.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Sue.
You've opened
sorry,
a
you
lot of doors.
So grateful. So grateful for you ladies. Thank you so much.
You're
So
so
what else is
welcome.
possible now?
Yeah. Yes.
The other
Thank
thing
you.
I wanted to mention, Sue, was the How to Become Money workbook. Are you familiar
Yes.
with that?
Yes.
Do you have it? Have you done it?
Yes.
Have you done the whole thing?
I have, yes. I
Okay.
need to do it again, obviously.
Cool. Yeah, because it's really
Yeah.
that workbook is so brilliant in that it really changes all of that stuff that's not real, that's keeping you from changing this and keeping you from having a communion with money, that's keeping you from becoming money. Because the truth is, like, for you to receive something, you have to be willing to be it. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention that came up when you were talking about all that stuff is Gary Douglas, who is the author of the book and the creator and founder of Access Consciousness, has said that if you will do that book every 2 weeks for 6 months, your entire financial reality will change. So you may want to revisit that one. Viv and I actually have a How to Become Money workbook class coming up, which is starting in May as well. So you're welcome to join us for that. And we go through it all together and facilitate people through it as well. But it's brilliant. And you can have anything. You can create anything. You know that. So now what would you like to choose? Yeah.
Yeah. Stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yay. I like that energy. You're like,
thank you.
Thank you, Sue, so much. Thank you, Tiffy, and thank you, everybody that's joined us tonight. Awesome conversation.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week for more Wealthy Wednesdays.
Bye. And if you want to join us, submit the form and ask your question. You too could be in the hot seat. Get a warm
if you're brave enough. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Sue.